A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
So, in the business session today, I have one announcement regarding the membership renewals. So, the membership renewals for the next 6 months are open, and I request everyone to renew as soon as possible. The deadline is 28th of March. So I request everyone to renew as soon as possible. That's all from the business section. The role taker update, I'll be giving it after the general evaluation. The sergeant can take over.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests.
Good evening.
So, back in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, there were cameras. But these cameras were just reserved for the professionals. You know why? Because they were big, clunky and massive machines which would occupy an entire room, and only the professionals used them. Now, sometime in the early 1900s, a man with a vision thought he had to change this. He wanted to make cameras accessible to the general public, and this man was George Eastman. He invented the Kodak camera, and through this camera, he was able to change the perception of the world because he had a vision of possibility and innovation, and through that he was able to help others capture whatever they saw in the moment. Now, cameras don't just capture whatever is in front of you. They capture emotions, perspectives, and stories. And at the end of the day, it is not something that you see in general because you want to understand what's happening. Like iconic images like the Tiananmen Square photo, the photo of the Beatles on Abbey Road, or even Albert Einstein with his tongue sticking out. They all tell a story and they all give a different perspective. Now, lenses are something that we see the world through. Whatever lens that we have defines the world that we see it in. Now, George saw the world through his lens of possibility and innovation, and he changed things. A scientist sees the sees the world through the minutest of details. A chemist or a druggist might see the world through a different perspective. I see it through a different perspective too. Now, I'd like to invite someone on stage who I'd like to hear what she sees the world through her lens as. So, I'd like to introduce the president of our club. She is a BCom graduate currently pursuing her MBA from Christ University. She likes doing mandala art, dancing, and also reading on the side. So please put your hands together for Toastmaster Pavani.
That wonderful introduction, Madhusudan. A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
First, I would request our guests to introduce about yourself, how you got to know about our club in 1 or 2 lines, and we can start off from it.
Hello everyone, I am Prakruthi. I'm from Malegiri Toastmasters, and I've been a part of Toastmasters I think for about more than 2 years right now. And I got to know about this club from distinguished Toastmaster Udanka, who was also part of the Toastmasters. And I guess this is my 3rd meeting in Macon, and it's always a delight.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to our club, and all the best for your speech today.
Hello everyone, I am Vaibhav. I am qualified chartered accountant. I am working as an intern in Guru and Chartered Accountant. I got to know about MCC Toastmasters from one of my colleagues who came for joining Toastmasters.
Thank you and welcome to our club. So, can we have your
Kushal S. I am working in technical accountant, which is animation and gaming industry. Currently designated associate manager in the financial accounting. I came to know from my colleague also, and I browsed and I searched nearest the center was the maker. So So I thought of just getting a mentor and experience the first.
Thank you, sir, to welcome you to our club. So now I would request our Associate Secretary Toastmaster Jyothi to read out the minutes of meeting number 1308.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pavani. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Here are the minutes of meeting number 1308 held on the 10th of March 2025. Theme, rule of the game. Word of the week, altruistic. The business session started at 6:20 p.m. and was chaired by President Toastmaster Pavani CR. In the business session, the following points were addressed. President Toastmaster Pavani CR announced on behalf of Vice President Education Toastmaster Sindhushree S that all roles except 2 speech slots and the general evaluator was booked for the next meeting. Members were requested to contact Toastmaster Sindhushree to book roles. Medium A K Prabhakara recognized Toastmaster Shivaprasad's effort in realigning the club's ribbon. President Toastmaster Pavani recognized the presence of the Area C2 Director Toastmaster Shantaraj and welcomed him to our club. The regular meeting started at 6:23 p.m. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Madhusudan started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Pavani. President Toastmaster Pavani opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Chetan. Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Chetan spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day. Timer, DDM Udanka Arjun Jain, R-Counter Toastmaster Sachin, PP Evaluator Toastmaster Jyothi, Grammarian Toastmaster Gajendra Gowda. The prepared speech session had the following speakers. Toastmaster Kushal, Pathway as Presentation Mastery, Level 1, Project 1, evaluated by Toastmaster G.R. Jain. The Moment of Truth session was conducted by the Vice President Membership Toastmaster Apurva T.R. Area C2 Director Toastmaster Shantaraj addressed the club and announced that the club has won the Fast and Fabulous 5 award. The general evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Shreya Rao. The winners of the week were Best Speaker Toastmaster Kushal, Best Evaluator Toastmaster D.R. Jain, Best Role Taker MPG Toastmaster Chetan Vashisht, Best Role Taker TAPG DTM Udanka. The President closed the meeting at 8:20 p.m. which was followed by the national anthem. Thank you and back to Toastmaster Pavani.
Are there any amendments?
Theme was last week, theme was rules of the game. It was read as rule of the game or something like that. No correction required. It was read like that.
It was read like that.
Whether it is correct or not, I do not.
Are there any amendments for the minutes of meeting? If not, I should consider it as accepted and open meeting number 1309. Back in 8th grade, I had this English project where I was supposed to read a novel, a book. Now, like most of the other students, I was not really excited about it because reading a book for the sake of marks felt like a punishment. The book was called The Story of My Life. I scribbled and I grabbed myself and I did not start as long as I could procrastinate it. But one day, due to deadline, I had to somehow just start the book. So I sat down to finally start reading it and I couldn't stop. Page after page, I was hooked to the book. Even now, years later, I still find myself drawing inspiration from that book. I want to tell you all that that was the first ever book I had read completely. It's the story of someone who faced unimaginable challenges in her life. She was born in a small town in the late 1800s. Life started normally, but at just 19 months old, severe tragedy struck. A severe illness left her both blind and deaf. Imagine that. A world with no sight, no sound, and no way to communicate. The result? Confusion, frustration, fear. As a child, she lashed out, throwing tantrums and breaking things here and there, unable to express herself, how she felt, or what are her thoughts. Her parents felt helpless. Doctors could not offer a cure. Educators believed that no one can teach this person. But the family refused to give up. Desperately, they reached out to a teacher who was known for her bold methods, a woman named Annie. Annie arrived at their home and immediately she faced a storm of chaos. A child who could not see her, who could not listen, who could not hear her, or who could not even understand her. Teaching her felt impossible, like trying to thread a needle in the dark. But Annie also refused to quit. She used her students' sense of touch, to spell words into her hand, hoping something would click. For weeks, nothing really happened. The frustration increased, but Annie was persisted. Then one day, a breakthrough happened. Annie took the student near a water pump, spelling WATER on her one hand, while the liquid flowed on the other hand. Suddenly, the student understood that everything has a meaning, that everything could be unlocked through a language. That was not just a word, but that was a hope. From that moment, her life changed completely. She learned to read, she learned to write, she also learned to speak. Years later, that person became the first deaf-blind person to earn a college degree. She wrote 14 books, traveled the world, and met influential leaders like Mark Twain and Alexander Graham Bell. She did not just survive, she thrived through her journey, becoming an inspiration for millions of others like with disabilities. But what amazed me the most was not just her achievements, it was her courage. Imagine being trapped in a silent, dark world and still choosing to believe in yourself. Imagine waking up every day in fear, yet still having the courage to learn. Yet, if there is something small that makes us uncomfortable, we often tend to get frustrated. Her name was Helen Keller. Her story taught me perseverance. It changes everything. It changes everything. Helen struggled for weeks before she learned how to identify a word. Sometimes the hardest lessons or hardest things in life are just one breakthrough away. And inspiration is everywhere. Helen's teacher, Annie Sullivan, proved that one person's belief can change everything. That one belief that she had in Helen Keller changed Helen Keller's life. Fellow Toastmasters, as we look at the world through the lens of our experiences and challenges, let's remember Helen Keller the next time you feel overwhelmed or you feel terrified. If she could find strength in her silent and dark world, imagine what we can do in ours. And speaking of courage, I would like to introduce the youngest distinguished Toastmaster through Pathways, a record holder in the India Book of Records, a triple crown winner. He is a business analyst by profession, a foodie, a passionate traveler, and a passionate photographer. With a huge round of applause, please help me welcome our Toastmaster of the day, DTM Udanka.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, for that introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
It's often thought about the photographers that lens is just a tool for them to capture mesmerizing landscape and emotional candidates. Is it so? Definitely not. As a photographer being myself, these small, tiny lenses, which is like hard for us. A little scratch on that is definitely a dent to our pocket and dent to our hearts too, because we know the effect of that one minute scratch. These lenses is not just two glasses which will capture the image. For us, it is a life, a piece of art through which we can capture the moment. Say for example, how many of you have seen your Ye Jawani Ye Diwani? In that movie, if I was in the place of Bunny, when Naina said, we will sit back for the sunset and missing the musical concert, I would have captured that sunset and have dragged Naina to the musical concert. That's how we capture a moment there. A moment which we can cherish for the entire life. This small unit, what we call as lens, is very important for us because it's been now almost 3 years since I've started my photography journey, and I've operated many lenses and I know what the essence of lens is. Recently when I was going through a rough phase through my Instagram handles, I could see that most of the images what I've captured was not on phone but through camera. And one recent observation what I did is I have captured in different cameras, but the lens remains same. That is the importance of lens in a camera. So these lenses, what we see the world through, just don't capture the moment. It also make a moment lively. For example, when I was recently capturing one of the contests, I was in a fun debate with fellow Toastmasters saying which camera is best, and when we had that competition, the color grading what I saw, what we see through eyes is something what we cannot capture it, but the closest to it is all because of the lens. A closest to any waterfall which we need to capture, the flowing water, to make it still, a lens is definitely required. For a fast moving train to halt in that millisecond, a lens is required. We can't do this with only lens, definitely not. We need a camera for it, definitely. Lens play an important role, right? Just like how we adjust the lens to get that picture perfect photo, a person century ago adjusted a little bit of thoughts, process and intuition of people, leading to an organization called Toastmasters International. An organization which started in the basement of YMCA with few men's is now spread across 149 countries with 15,700 clubs and over 270,000 plus members. An organization which has been adjusted to make sure people look picture perfect in public speaking and leadership skills. To help me take this meeting forward, I have few role takers who will be helping me understand how to take this picture perfect meetings. Starting off with the timer, Toastmaster Sakshi.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Just like the camera lens captures its details of a moment, our speakers today will guide us through their lens and my job as a timer is to keep the track of time. For prepared speeches, the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes I will raise green card, 6 minutes I will raise yellow card, and 7 minutes I will raise a red card. 30 seconds raise time will be allotted to each speaker. For the next session, that is table topics, time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute I will raise green card, 1.5 minutes I will raise yellow card, and 2 minutes I will raise red card. Evaluation session, the time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes, green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2.5 minutes, and red card at 3 minutes. Just like the camera lens captures its details, as we dive into the world through each other's lens, let's appreciate how these moments are captured and shared. I'll share my timer's report when asked back in the general evaluation session. Thank you and over to you.
Next, we have our counter Toastmaster Rachana.
Good evening, everyone. I'm your counter for today. So, for all the speeches, all the roles, anyone coming up there and talking, I will be keeping a keen ear out for pause filler words such as for crutch words, for any repeated words as well. I'll give my report at the end of the meeting.
Up next, we have Parliamentary Procedure Evaluator Toastmaster Shivaprasad.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests in the room. So, as our Sergeant at Arms said today, all of us view the world through our own different lens, and therefore we have our different viewpoints on topics like sex, politics, and religion. And therefore, I request all of you to refrain from speaking about these sensitive topics when you're at Chetan. And also, as you might have observed, we applaud in plenty. So, if you want to enter or exit this room, please do so during an applause. And keep your mobile phones on silent mode so that they do not disturb the speakers, and also avoid speaking amongst yourselves when somebody is at the lectern. So give my report in the general evaluation back to the
Thank you. And last but not least, Grammarian Toastmaster Jyothi.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. He screamed with joy and hugged her grandma. Aji, I will spend my holidays with you. Aji ebulliently hugged her tight and said, I've been so alone and have not eaten anyone. Now I shall eat you every day. Imagine Pinky's terror. That is what happens if there is a shift in the grammar. So, dear Toastmasters, I'll make a note of the good usages and not so good usages and give my report at the general evaluation time. Mind you, Aji should have said, Pinky, I will eat with you every day and not eat you every day. Thank you.
Thank you. These were the 4 pillars for today's meeting. Just like how we have aperture, ISO, shutter speed, and camera, these are the helping hands for today's meeting. For the benefit of the guests, what exactly is happening in today's meeting is we have 3 sessions. In the first session, we have a few speakers who are ready with a prior pathways where they know what to speak and how to speak. Next is an impromptu session. It is known as table topics, where they come out on the spot to speak about 1 to 2 minutes. And finally, we have a general evaluation session where we call it as Breakfast for Champions, where we get evaluated on what can be done well for our speeches. So, are you all ready to focus on the minute parts of the speakers and learn in today's meeting?
Yes.
Just like how photographer carefully craft their settings to capture a photo, the speakers have crafted their ideas to make sure they give a perfect speech. Let's hear it from them. The first speaker is attempting level 1, project 2. Before I call out the speaker, I would request individual evaluator, Toastmaster Sindhushree, to read out the project guidelines.
So my target speaker for the Toastmaster Bhavana is attempting her level 1 project 2, and the project purpose is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any given topic. And notes for the evaluator, that's me. The member completing this project is working to write a speech with purpose. The speech they create must be well written and clearly focused. Their goal is to meet their express purpose statement with a well-executed speech. And about this speech, the member will present a well-organized, well-delivered speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech content and style should work well together. Thank you, and back to you.
Our speaker is a travel enthusiast who loves reading fantasy novels. Please put your hands in together, welcoming the speaker number 1, Toastmaster Bhavana, with a speech titled Writing a Speech with Purpose. Writing a Speech with Purpose, Toastmaster Bhavana.
Well, raise your hands if you have ever had one of those days where you just knew that the entire universe was plotting against you. Well, yes, I too had one. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good
I was 12 years old when I was traveling from Pokhara to Muktinath in Nepal with my parents and grandparents. Now there are 2 ways in which you can reach Muktinath, by flight or by road. Now our 6 AM flight got cancelled due to some vague scheduling issues, so we had to take the other alternative, which was a 12-hour jeep journey instead of a 20-minute flight. And that too on a road that was more apt for a mountain goat than for a vehicle. Now we started our journey through the lower parts of the Himalayas. We were surrounded by lush greenery, streams of water and towering cliffs. I just leaned out of the window and was lulled to sleep by the cool breeze. When I woke up, I found out that the car had stopped. So I got out of the car to look at what had happened. Just 4 or 5 cars ahead, a landslide had occurred. My heart stopped. I just went to my mom and said, Amma, please, let's go back. Well, here's my travel advice number 1. Always travel with people your age. Because when I said this, my grandparents from the back said, I mean, next varsha badki Sai ki mucha onesati Muktinath hogbit. I mean, I was just 12 years old. I didn't even know what mukti meant. And I'm pretty sure I didn't want to as well. But nevertheless, nobody listened to me. So we had to resume the journey 5 hours later once the road was cleared. While we were waiting there, I just looked around. The road was just 2.5 to 3 meters wide, barely making way for one vehicle. And it was made up of just gravel and dirt, no guardrails, and cars lined up behind. So there was no way back. But I wanted to go back. I didn't know what to do. I was helpless. So I just went, please, I mean, trust me, the entire journey, I was holding my breath exactly like this. And luckily, finally, we made it to Johnson at midnight. Our flight way back was at 10 AM. So at 3 AM, we got up and we got ready and left for the temple. Okay, luckily we were there for the sunrise. Now I want to ask you, how many of you here have actually seen heaven? Okay, nice. I too did that day. You know, it's been almost 8 years, but I still remember and I still have the exact image imprinted on my mind. The temple on which, the mountain on which the temple was situated was the only mountain without snow, and it was completely surrounded by the Annapurna ranges, the majestic Annapurna, which was completely covered in snow. And we were there for the sunrise. So it was just nature's beauty at its peak. It looked a little terrifying, scary, yet mesmerizing. Pure, untouched beauty. That day, standing there, I realized, had we gone back, I would have missed this. Anyway, we had a wonderful temple journey and we headed to the airport. Now, if you think our challenges were over, wait till you hear the next part. It's even worse. The entire airport was a joke. How many of you here have boarded a toy airplane? No? Well, I did that day. It was an 18-seater plane where just a curtain separated us from the pilot. I mean, imagine. One smack on the pilot's head and the entire plane would have gone down. But yet the view was just amazing. We were flying over the Himalayas. We could even look at the Mount Everest from there. It was a 20-minute flight. At 10 minutes through the journey, I just rose up and asked the air hostess for a chocolate. And she goes, sit. The flight will lose its balance. The flight will lose its balance? What kind of an engineering disaster were we flying in? I mean, via road, at least I had 12 hours to contemplate my death. Now, I just had 20 minutes. It scared the hell out of me. But isn't that life? Just when you think you've made it through, another challenge shows up. And maybe that's the point. Maybe overcoming these inevitable hurdles are what makes the journey meaningful. Anyway, once we reached the airport, I just Googled and I got to know that this was one of the 10 most dangerous airports of the world. Of course it was. But that day, I realized whether you're climbing up a mountain or you're traveling through a rough road or maybe even balancing on a toy plane, the joy always comes from making it through. Though initially it did seem like the entire universe was plotting against me, I realized that it was in fact actually weaving me an epic adventure, a memory to keep forever, and a story to share. So from that day on, I never say no to adventure. Back to you.
Up next, our speaker number 2 is also attempting level 1, project 2. Before I invite the speaker, may I request the individual evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster U Bhat, to read out the project guidelines.
Toastmasters or Toastmasters become guests. Is it necessary to read out? The speech was identical, the objectives were same. If it is not necessary, I will not repeat it. But otherwise I can tell also. It's not. Back to you.
Thank you. Speaker number 2 is working as a HR. Her favorite fun time is to hang out with friends. A fellow Toastmaster from another club who is serving as a Vice President of Public Relations. Please put hands together in welcoming speaker number 2, Toastmaster Prakruthi Ravi, with the speech title, The Only Thing, Prakruthi Ravi.
Do you know what makes you happy? The only thing that makes you, you. Would you hold this thing or person close to you? Yes? I sure would. Sometimes, even if you do, without you realizing it, it just slips away. One day, you wake up and it's just gone. Lost. Perhaps. Forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Has this ever happened to you? Evolving as a person is natural, but losing who you truly are is not. As a kid, I was this happy and chubby girl who had a loving family, fantastic friends, and a partner who made me feel really safe. I found joy in the little things. I found joy in the little things. Laughed loudly, loved deeply. Life was just perfect. Right after my 12 boards were the best days of my life. Lying on this large grey sofa in my pajamas and messy hair, binging through back-to-back movies with a large bucket of popcorn. Ah, perfect. Do you know how being lazy truly feels? It's a blissful feeling. Large sofa, pajamas, popcorn. The cycle repeated, day after day, week after week. Same old sofa, pajamas, popcorn. Same old sofa, pajamas, popcorn. Ah! I just didn't get it. Laziness led to confusion. Confusion led to frustration. Frustration led to anger. Not with anybody else, but with myself. Who have I become? What happened to my life? No more loud loves. No more deep love. The life where I once found joy in the little things was not there anymore. I wasn't even there. I wasn't even me. One evening, it was my best friend Aishwarya's birthday. Instead of being there with her and celebrating with her, I was lying down on my bed with hopelessness and sadness. Barely able to get out of that bed, even though she was standing right there in front of me. I just snapped. What are you doing here? Why don't you just leave me alone? Prakruthi, I said just leave me alone, will you? Disheartened and dejected, she walked out of the door without uttering a word. Silent. Overhearing this entire conversation, my mom came up to me and said, Prakruthi, I don't see you anymore. I don't know if you truly see the people who love and care for you. I hope one day you do. This hit me like a tidal wave. My mom, the strong, unwavering woman, was breaking because of me. My friend Aishwarya, who prioritized me over herself, who was there for me on her birthday. They always made sure I was happy, but they just didn't know how to fix the sadness that had taken over me. That's when I realized how drowned and sad I was in that very moment. That's when I realized gratitude isn't just a feeling. Gratitude isn't just saying thank you. It's about showing it. My mom, every night, was standing there hoping her daughter would come back to her one day. My friends, who did not give up on me until they had nothing left to give. My partner, who loved me even when I did not love myself. This just made me realize that is in this entire process that not only was I losing myself, but I was losing all the people that who loved and cared for me. But for what? Because I didn't say thank you. I didn't appreciate them. I never saw them. I never said I love you too. This hit me really hard. I made a choice to be better, to love better, to live better. I started small. I said thank you to my friends. I reached out to my old friends, not expecting anything in return, but just to let them know that they truly matter to me. I learned the most important thing, which is to be there for people. Not just when it was convenient, but when it truly mattered. And something magical happened. I found new friends. Not to replace the ones that I lost, but just to remind myself that if you're open to love, universe has its own way of showing it back to you. I found love again, who I cherish, not just in the good moments, but in the difficult ones too, whose efforts, who I never take for granted. I finally found myself back out again. Love loves, deep love, finding joy in the little things was something that I could really find all over again. Life was once again perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, who are you? Remember, it's gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's showing action. Remember, it's the only people who care and love you who make you realize who you are. These are the only people that make sure who are there for you and pick you up and make you, well, you. Remember, gratitude is always about taking action. It's about making sure that people know that they matter. Because these are the ones that make you realize who you are. And these are the ones who are there for you when things go high. Toastmasters.
That was our second speaker and the final speaker for the day. How many of you love candid photos? So these spontaneous photos are something everyone loves about. Just like that, likewise in public speaking, impromptu speaking captures the raw and unfiltered thoughts in our brain. To host the table topic session, we have a person who has a 20+ years industry experience in training, a travel enthusiast who loves music and dance. In her free times, cooking is something she cherishes about. Please put your hands together in welcoming the topics master for the evening, Toastmaster Latha.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my esteemed guests.
Good evening.
This is the second session what we have, that is the table topics, the most exciting session what we have, wherein you will be called upon or be given one topic and you will be given just few seconds to think, which will help you on your time management skills and your communication skills, especially improv speaking. So are you all ready for it?
Yes.
My first topic, my beauty secret that I would not like to share with the world. My beauty secret that I would not like to share with the world. And for this topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Balaji.
Looks like my beauty itself is a secret because no one can find it. There was this time when I was a 19-year-old boy. I went into my college as a 19-year-old teenager. I went into a college with people who clearly had a fetish for people who were on the fairer side, and who clearly had a fetish for the tall, really handsome, built ones, and really had a fetish for the ones who had that stereotype elegance and beauty. And there I was fighting all their fetishes. When I stood in this particular space, I really started beating myself up thinking, oh my God, what is really wrong with me? Where did I even get to this place? I feel like such a mismatch out here. Everybody is looking so good. Will I ever make it in this particular place? And people around me made sure that they also made me feel like I was always out of the place until and unless I realized I am chasing behind a beauty which is not even my first language. We all have a first language. And the day you realize what is your first language, automatically you will be beautiful. Today, I know you all think I'm very handsome. Let me clear it out to you. It's not because of the way I look. It's because of the way I feel about myself. Identify what your first language is, identify what you're really good with it, and keep getting better at what you're already good at. The day you become an expert and start really doing good with what you're really good at, you'll automatically look handsome, because a man with the longest nose on the planet is still considered the smartest by many. We all know Shah Rukh Khan. But he's still extremely handsome because he believes he is handsome. So my secret is the fact that I feel beautiful inside, and the beauty just goes. Over to the table topics.
I'm going to kickstart my table topics from a person who can talk on any topic at just 2 seconds away. So I wanted to start the topic with Balaji. My second topic for the day is my most used emoji. My most used emoji and why. For this topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Gajendra.
I don't use emojis. I just like to spell words properly. That is one thing I'm texting. And I see a lot of people, they use, probably laughing emoji. That is one thing I use. When you react to memes, you can't react with ha 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 ha. You have to react with that, that laughing emoji is the side that laughs a lot. Yeah, that one. And my friends use a lot of emojis, especially with fingers. They have a lot. If I say something, I'll be like, dude, are you gonna come today? And this will be like, and it just annoys me the most. They'll just say, okay. How difficult is it? Just 2 words. Okay. Not even asking you to spell the entire word. But yeah, and if I ask them something, dude, how was this concert? They're like, this. I don't know what that means. And yeah, this thing, and I don't use emojis at all. I just like to spell words and use proper words. Thank you.
It feels good that you're not the only person on this earth who doesn't understand emojis. You have a lot of other people like you. It feels really good. The next topic. What is the most adventurous thing you have ever done? What is the most adventurous thing you have ever done? And for this topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sai Snehal.
Table topics master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. When I was just finished my 10th standard and had a couple of holidays, a summer vacation, I got a brand new cycle. It was this rock cycle, MTB cycle. And I was extremely fascinated by the capabilities of that cycle, and I had a friend who was into off-roading and all that. So one fine Sunday morning, I asked him to come over to my place and we went down to Turali Forest. What worse can happen? There's a nice off-roading trail that you can cycle there. So I thought, let's just do that. I had never had any experience before off-roading before that, and that was my first time. So we started climbing, ascending up the hill, then we started descending. And when we were descending, I started speeding up because I thought the road's nice, there's nobody around, and we'll just go forward with it. I started speeding so much that I couldn't brake, because in an off-road, the brakes don't really work on a cycle. You need to do counter steering and a lot of other tactics for you to slow down. I didn't know anything about that, but I gave it my shot. There was this one curve, and there was a tree, and I was supposed to take a left before that. I did not take left. And there was a small ditch that I went through it. But one thing that I really had confidence was I held the handlebar and not leaving it till I came out of the ditch. But the second I came out of the ditch, I was at the end of the mountain. So I went downhill and I reached to another place and I couldn't find where I was. I didn't have signal on my phone, my friend couldn't find me, I couldn't find my friend. And for almost 3 years I kept looking around the entire forest and I didn't know where I was. I think this is when they closed Turali forest after. So I was the last person to go there. So this is the most adventurous thing that I have been to, and every time someone reminds me of Turali forest, I just remember that moment and wish they open that again, but it's good that they've closed it. Thank you.
A very adventurous journey indeed. Next topic. What's your favorite family tradition? What's your favorite family tradition? For this topic, I would like to call Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa.
Hello, namaskara. What is my most
favorite family tradition?
What is my most family tradition? I am very happy to say, since I come from a village, we like a lot of relationships. I want people to come with me, stay in my house, enjoy it. This is my tradition. I observed my father. Whoever comes, his friend comes, he used to call them very affectionately, have the food together, and talk all that was the. Since I come from a village, I like this tradition. What happened to my life after marriage? It was a diametrical opposite. So once I thought, is it the life that I live? What shall I do? Shall I divorce my wife? What shall I do? My family tradition is broken. And believe me, I would like to share with you one of the worst things which is occurring in my life. I have told all my relatives not to come my house. I have told, because my tradition is broken, my heart is broken. But inevitably, many people asked, why are you like this? There are only two ways. Either live with your wife or divorce it. Which is the better? They themselves will say, live with them. So I have to live out my tradition. So traditions are most important, which nowadays we see they are vanishing. They are not at all available today. People curse when they come exactly at a food time or whatever it is. I invite anybody to my factory or elsewhere, come, let's have a food together. That is my tradition. Live honestly, sincerely, and be with God. Enjoy the life. Live in the present. Have this tradition. Don't leave the tradition. If you leave the tradition, I think it is almost, I consider we have dead. Thank you very much.
The next topic, your top 2 passions and why. Your top 2 passions and why. For this topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Chetan.
I love to read, I love to swim, I love my wife. I have a few others, she's told me only 2 and I can't choose now. But I'll tell you what, swimming is something extraordinary. Ever since I discovered my coach, Mr. Berman, about a year ago, I have now developed the habit to get up at 5:30 in the morning and go to a cold pool and swim in the morning. And we don't just casually swim, we swim about 3.5 kilometers a day. And he presses us hard. And these habits bleed into the other areas of my life. That's why I love swimming so much. It's so great. It's hard. It's difficult. And the man yells at you. You're swimming. He's yelling at you all the time. You can feel it right down your throat. You take a breath. He's there, looking at you, 80-year-old man. But yeah, that's that. And those same ideas flow into work, flow into Toastmasters, flow everywhere else. But what about reading? Reading, it's liberating. It's the opposite. It's where I have no one yelling down my throat, and I can let my mind go everywhere. I let the author take me where they want to go. With reading, I've seen how how Germany was in the 1940s. I've seen the birth of Israel. I've seen how Osama bin Laden was killed. I've seen all kinds of things. And books are this beautiful dimension that transports us and gives us a taste of life that we could never know otherwise. And these are the top two things that come to my mind, and I'm not allowed to talk anymore. Thank you.
Our last two speakers spoke how do you speak, how do you have your communication skills and talk about your passion so passionately. So my next topic would be, are you a morning person or a night person? Are you a morning person or a night person? For this topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sachin.
So, good evening everyone. So, am I a morning person or a night person? So, I think this differs for each and every person. But for me personally, I just prefer doing everything at night. It's just that, like, it could be whatever, like, it could be studying, playing, anything. Like, I just feel refreshed at night. And also, my parents also scold me, like, why don't you just go to sleep early? And do you ever get this feeling where you stay up night the entire time, and when you get up you just regret, oh, why didn't I sleep? And I get that feeling every day, but guess what, I still do it. So morning, it just doesn't suit me because I just don't like, every day when I wake up till I go to bath, I just cannot keep my eyes open for some reason. And I remember, like, around two years back, I had an internship. So, and it was very far. It was in Attipede, I think. And so I had to leave my house at 7. So I used to wake up at around 6 o'clock every day, and I just didn't feel right. But then again, I had no choice. So yeah, I prefer doing everything at night. Yeah, thank you.
What's the weirdest food you have ever eaten? What is the weirdest food you have ever eaten? For this particular topic, I would like to call upon DTM AKP.
Madam Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and the weirdest food I have ever eaten, it depends on kind of hotel I have gone. I have been to different hotels in different places, maybe different places in the world. The latest one was one Japanese restaurant in US. They gave one meal in a bowl, it's a big bowl, and there were noodle-like thing and lot of leaves. And I ate that. It was tasteless, odorless, and colorless. Another one, that weirdest food I ever ate was one Nigerian food. I had to really think whether it is vegetarian, non-vegetarian, or is it food that can be eaten. It was very awkwardly positioned, and I took some time, brooded over it. These are all my son's recommendation. You always eat dosa, idli, this stuff. You eat this also. I said, I'm thinking how to eat. There are various things. And the most weirdest is in a French restaurant. We were quite a few veg and non-veg mix kind of people who had been from Econ to France for a project. And there I said that I want vegetarian food. Then it was Lyon, France, and everybody got something. She said, whoever ordered, he said, some people in my batchmates, colleagues, they said that they want to order chicken. They said, Prabhu, what do you want to order? I said, I'm vegetarian lamb. So steward came, and I asked, he said chicken. Then he came back from the kitchen and said that chicken is not there. I'm serving you all duck.
duck was very tough to cut for them, my friends. And vegetarian stuff is coming. What he brought as a vegetarian was a lot of colorful leaves in big plate. Then he laughed at me, I laughed at him. I felt like a rabbit that day. Like rabbit food. Something like a cow. It was big stuff. And I felt that it is very weird. He said, you don't eat egg. This is all I can serve. This is the best we do. Over to table topic.
Thank you, K Prabhakara, for sharing his experience, wherein a lot of us could relate that when you are vegetarians and you go to a place where they understand that leaves and veggies are the only thing what a vegetarian can eat. My next topic. What was the worst style choice you have ever made? What was the worst style choice you have ever made? And this topic goes to Toastmaster Prajvini.
Good evening, Toastmaster and guests. What's been my worst style choice? Actually, I don't think I have a very strong sense of style. There isn't any particular way that I prefer to dress or present myself. I just go with the flow. So to come up with something that's been best or worst is a little hard, but I can still think of something. Maybe when I was in my pre-university, right, I had this penchant for things that included large sweaters, usually my dad's. I was small, really small back then, and then I would have these large sweaters and baggy jeans and very colorful footwear. I suppose I thought I looked funny and fun, not funny, fun, but then I'm sure a lot of people thought I was funny. So today when I look back, yeah, perhaps that was not something that I should have done, and that's perhaps something that I'll never do. So yeah, thank you.
They always tell that you should dress according to your own comfort zone. Maybe you feel better and others feel funny, so always go with what you feel. My next topic. What would be the title of your autobiography? What would be the title of your autobiography and why? For this topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Malegiri Das.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Okay, so what is the title of my autobiography? The title would be, every time I find the meaning of life, they change it. They change the definition of the meaning. So that is what is the title of my autobiography, because we are living in a very interesting times where so much of dynamism is happening every day. So we are, we can definitely, when autobiography is more of a retrospective look at how things have happened and to present them in the most genuine way that is possible. But yeah, looking at the current way things are happening and how people are perceiving technology, how fascinated the kids are with technology, how we are not able to cope up with many facets of the life that we are being encountered with. So definitely, whenever we say that, okay, this is how it is, probably till 2000, if someone lived, he would have said that, probably the Industrial Revolution was something and computerization was something which we were not even aware of it, something that is something which is fascinating to me. But now cut to 2020, you have AI, you have so many things. So even with each passing month or year, you encounter something which shakes your base from the bottom, and you are again back to square one. So that's how I would like to sum up. Every time I come up with what is the meaning of life, they change it, and the culprit is technology. Thank you.
someone you really admire? Who is this someone you really admire and why? This topic goes to Toastmaster Kushal.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. I gave my icebreaker speech last week. I prepared my speech in such a way that I would mention this person's name because he was the reason why I joined Toastmasters. He is none other than my life mentor, Prakruthi. So he's been a torchbearer since I've joined my first company. So I met him in my first company, and since then he's been a constant support to me till now. Till now, in particular, where last week I got my results of the final exam which I attempted, and unfortunately I couldn't clear it. That's a sad part. But even though I just called him, after the results came out and expressed my sadness. And he was like always there for me, and he told me that he calmed me down. It's okay, you have cleared all the 3 modules. This was a very difficult module, which is not very easy to clear by everyone in the first attempt. He calmed me down. He cheered me up to take up the next attempt in April. I would look up to him anytime, any day. If I need any help, I would just pick the phone and just call him. Thank you.
My last topic for the day. If you had to eat that one meal for the rest of your life, if you had to eat that one meal for the rest of your life, what it would be and why? What it would be and why? And for this topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Shiva.
Thank you, table topics. This amazing topic. I was in Bangalore just yesterday, so I can tell you exactly what is that one meal that I can eat for the rest of my life. It would be a fish curry meal with maybe a sardine curry on the side, deep fried lady fish, and maybe ghee roast, chicken ghee roast, and boiled rice, and probably on the side a chutney made out of prawns, pickle made out of fish, and yeah, I know it can seem a little weird thinking that this fellow eats fish, but I truly do. And I can't stand anything else other than Mangalorean style fish curries, because I did try, there was one topic, weirdest food combinations. The same fish that I just mentioned, sardine or your kingfish or ladyfish, I did try it out in a French restaurant in Pondicherry. I couldn't stand more than one piece, I couldn't put it in my mouth because it was just grilled or something like that, and it seemed tasteless, odorless, as Sir put it. So if I had to eat one meal, then it would be that, yes, a fish curry meal, Mangalorean style fish curry. If that was my last meal and I was in prison and somebody said you will be hanged tomorrow, that would probably what I'd be ordering. So with that, over to the table topics.
A little surprise, that was not the last topic. So we have, this is the last topic. Who is the most famous person you have ever met? Who is the most famous person you have ever met, and what were your feelings that time? For this topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Vaibhav.
Good evening, fellow masters and dear guests. So the topic I've been assigned is who is the most famous personality you've met, and what was your thoughts? I've not really met any famous personalities. I've not really met any famous personalities.
Make them famous now.
I think I just waved to Darshan. Yeah.
He was right when he said he didn't make famous.
Okay. Simple story. I was driving on the Bangalore-Mysore highway. I saw flashy blue Jaguar. So I peek inside. It's Darshan. So I say hi to him, and my mom clicked a photo of him, and that's it. I'll just fairly simple story. Again, I've not met any famous personalities. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, more surprises. We have more topics over here. The reason why I keep telling last topic, I want everyone to be interested and keep going to the whatever the speaker is going to try to tell. Okay, my next topic would be which animal personality closely resembles you? Which animal personality closely resembles you and why? This topic goes to Toastmaster Samarth.
Hello, Toastmasters, my dear guests. Which animal which lets me means? I will choose a rabbit because it's a vegetarian. So I am comparing myself with a rabbit. That's all.
Do you also love grass?
No, I don't like grass, but it's basically it's a vegetarian, no? So I choose rabbit as my companion. That kind of.
You are getting better.
And by the way, rabbits are very cute animals. Okay, my next topic. If you won $1 million, not rupees. If you won $1 million, what would you do with it? What would you do with it? For this particular topic, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Boopathi. Sorry, Toastmaster Boopathi.
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guest. If I have $1 million, what I will do? I will do my business. Yes. And I want more child. So any another ashramam, how would you say? There I will go and buy more children and make them happy in one place. And buy is not a way to do that. Till that. Okay, and then what I will do? Okay, $1 million.
$1 million, so maybe 100 million, 10 million.
Around 780 lakh.
Okay.
That is 8 crore 30 lakh. Okay, I will do so much in my building like this and my kingdom. Wow. I will be very happy. Thank you.
I'm very happy. I thought he's going to give us a breakup of $1 million. What is going to give? Good. This brings us to the end of the table topic session. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of learning. I have two requests from my side to my audience. First thing is, whenever a speaker comes behind the lectern, I would request everyone to give a thunderous round of applause, because whenever someone comes behind the lectern, all of them are very nervous. To stand for 120 seconds is really difficult for a person to attend. So when you give a thunderous round of applause, they feel motivated. The more motivated, the more number of seconds they are behind the lectern. And this is what the aim of Toastmasters is: making public speaking a better choice for everyone. And the second one, I would say that please, all the people who come behind the lectern, I know you're nervous. It's very difficult to come and do an impromptu speaking. I also get lost with the words. But always try staying behind. If you do not have any words, think, pause, try speaking something. Always take the first step. Maybe first time you come here, you speak 2 words. Next time when you come, you speak 4 words. Maybe next time you come, you speak 16 words. And there'll be a time when you'll be one of the best impromptu speakers behind the lecture. So aim for that and always keep that in mind. With this, I would like to hand over the chat back to our MC of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Public Sponsor Latha, for conducting this session. In any function you attend, the photographers or the lens don't have a pause. From the moment they start working, they enter the venue till the moment they leave, they will be working. No matter if the guests go for breakfast or lunch or anything, the lens won't stop. But I think let's take it a moment to pause our lenses here, go have a 10 minutes networking back, and we'll be right back after 10 minutes. Welcome back. We are done with 2 sessions and we are with the final session, a session where any profession can rely on, be it public speaking, be it photography. Feedback is necessarily needed. In photography, you tell the photographers, this is the small part, my hair was tweaked, can you declick it? We know when to capture it the next time. And likewise in public speaking, what are the places where we can improve on to be a better and a confident speaker? For that, we have a person who has come back to it after ages, I would say. He is currently working as a senior tech manager leading India and North America. Last time when I had met him, he told, I'm continuously binge watching football matches, and today when I asked him, he told, football matches have come down to Peppa Pigs, and free time, I'm always on tea parties with my daughter. Please put your hands together in welcoming the General Evaluator for the evening, Toastmasters Supreet.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I thought I'll see an ebullient response when you look at the G. But then I realized most of you, no matter through what lens you see, will not recognize who I am. Right? So I'll try to be more regular and do more general evaluation sessions and other sessions, right? With that, let's jump straight into the general evaluation for the evening. The business session started at 6:17, 2 minutes late, but I liked how the president was waiting for some information before she could start the session. So I like how you wait for the details. 6:17, quick pointers on membership renewals, and nicely done. Something that I want to check now is, did we miss out on announcing the area contest winner? Right? So maybe that's a note that we should have added. I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Balaji for winning at the area contest. Job well done, and yet another feather in Mekon's crown. With that, we moved to the Sergeant at Arms, who remained incognito for some reason throughout the session, including now.
Attending meeting outside.
Okay. So I think Toastmaster Madhusudan had a very nice story, taking us back to the 1800s, 1900s, George Eastman and the Kodak camera, rightly applying it to the theme. That was a job very well done here, and here's a very nice way of connecting to the audience that I liked. A couple of areas of improvement, maybe I'll communicate it to him later, was one thing, he missed out on the phone announcement. I don't know if you're doing it now, this is my bad, but he didn't announce to keep our phones on silent, which the BP always covers later. So it's a second defense line for us, that's good. And something that I really liked is that I think he could have worked on is the intro to the president. The first time I was a sergeant, I know it's very difficult to introduce the same person for 6 months, but that's what challenges you in making yourself more creative, right? Get to know things about them that they don't know. Stalk them basically is what I mean, right? Try to understand them as a person. Put the same thing in a different way, connecting it to the theme. Like saying, she's a student in Christ College. I would have said, from now on, she'll look at the world through the lens of a Christite. Something like that. Or say, when she looks at the world, she sees it like a huge mandala, because she's fond of mandala art. Right? Use something like that and build a crescendo, because you are introducing the president of Mekong Communication Club. Right? Build that crescendo and then announce the president. But all in all, a great job done, very nicely done. He was here getting the details in place. A job very well done, so a round of applause to Toastmaster. With that, the president, Toastmaster Pavani, a very warm smile, a very warm welcome, textbook execution at the meeting, before the meeting. When I came in, she was writing the notes. I said, why are you? She was writing the theme. I said, why are you writing? She said, I'm just helping the team. And that's where leadership starts, right? You lead by example, and that's what she was doing really well. And when the session started, she had all the details, a very finely executed business session, and the speech was not about a camera, a lens, or something that was very into the theme, right? Or something that was very predictable for the theme. She took a step aside and spoke about an inspirational figure like Helen Keller. I think she has inspired generations and she'll go on to inspire generations to come, right? That is something she did really, really well. You have a very conversational style of speaking, which is really nice in bits and pieces, but at times I would suggest you try to get that power as a president and leave us with emphatic messages, right? Speak with authority when you become a president. You mentioned the story has stayed with you since 8th grade about Helen Keller, right? Which means you don't need notes. You know it like the back of your hand, right? So that is something I would expect when I look at the president saying, she stood there at 19 months with a deadly illness. You and I would have lost that battle. But Helen Keller, for what we know, turned out to be the inspiration for a lot of time to come. Right? Those kind of things when you talk about Helen Keller. But I would say your story had a very nice conclusion, a takeaway. Add something about yourself when you talk about the story, how she's inspired you. So I know if Pavani is inspired, I can be inspired too. If Pavani can do it, I can do it too. But great work, textbook execution, from helping to leading to speaking. A big round of applause to them. With that, we moved on to the first session, that's the prepared speech session. Speaker number 1 was Toastmaster Bhavana. Can I please have the individual evaluator, Toastmaster Sindhushree, to present an evaluation?
Thank you, Toastmaster Supreet. My target speaker for the Toastmaster Bhavana attempted her level 1 project 2. And I must say, what a fabulous speech, because I know the effort that you put behind preparing for this particular speech, and in sharing your speech title as well at like in the night at 12 a.m. So great efforts were put in terms of preparing for the speech. And one small correction is, in case if you're not in the agenda, you can always reach out to the MC and tell him that this is my project speech title, to include it in your introduction or whenever he's calling you on the stage. So apart from that, speaking about in a very proper way of what went right and what could have gone a little bit better, I must say it felt like when you were telling me or talking to your audience, I was traveling to Muktinath with you and I could hear your comments right next to me. So I felt like all the lush green words that you used entire speech, it was so descriptive. You were able to tell about your grandparents traveling. You were telling how journey for that on the roads felt more like it was a mountain goat rather than you. There was humor infused in the speeches. It was very descriptive in terms of the narration that you were providing. Not just telling what happened, but also kind of telling you, helping the audience imagine what is it we're going through. So for me and for everybody here, when you were talking, it felt like we were on that plane right next to you, experiencing the imbalance, and also listening to your great, fantastic, humorous comments. But some of the things I really loved along with that in your speech was your enthusiasm. As you have like a very conversational style of speaking for everybody. It was more in terms of not a very textbook level advice that you were providing, but it was more in terms of, this happened, this is what I felt, this is what I was going through, and let me give you a travel tip. So this was a very good way of expressing yourself. You're very enthusiastic about your speech. You're very expressive about your speech. You had some enlightenment in the speech as well. So some of the things worked really well. And some of the things that could have gone a little bit better from your end is, when you were talking to people in the audience in Kannada language, maybe I would have expected a translation into English. Like when you came here and talking to your mother, or when you came here talking to your grandmother and expressing is like, God, they were one sala badakustudu. Or something could have told, God, let me live to see the next sunrise. So expecting some translation. Along with it, some grammatical errors here and there when you were conveying things in your natural conversation style. We make a mistakes with, to, from. So somewhere here and there, that meaning of the sentence is lost. But apart from this, I felt it was like, there was a beautiful takeaway in your speech. That is, keep them, keep going towards the end, see through to the end, don't give up in between. So this takeaway message could have lasted till the end of the speech. So when you're concluding towards the end narration, you could have held on to this message and see that this message traveled till the end and given a purpose to the audience. And apart this could not happen because of your time management. So I felt the takeaway message could be stronger if you manage your time a little bit better. So one challenge for you is just that, manage your time, manage your messages, and if not that, you're a great or opulent speaker. Looking forward for all your speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sindhushree. Our second speaker was Toastmaster Prakruthi. Can I please request the individual evaluator, DTM U Bhat, to present his evaluation?
If you are open to love, universe as a way to give it back. This is the and to live better, love better. These are the messages or thoughts with which I am going on today. Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and Toastmaster Prakruthi in particular. An amazing speech, man. I really thoroughly loved it. This is the way a project level 1, project 2 has to be handled. To writing a speech with a purpose. You decided the purpose, the general purpose and the specific purpose. The general purpose is inspire the audiences to order thought think. And specific purpose is how to make people be grateful to the people around them who love them and who help them around. That's the message you are trying to learn. You have been totally successful in your venture as far as the project 2 guidelines are concerned. So coming to your specific seat, let me just tell you where you exactly excelled, and probably some areas where you can probably do something better, so something different. The first thing is your speech making, communication, verbal and non-verbal communication skills. Be it language or be it your voice modulation, your gestures, your eye contact, you excel. I'm not rating you as excellent here. I'm giving you exemplary. That's the highest anyone can probably achieve in this club. That's what I felt personally. This is one of the finest speech where is the whole stage management and the way your gestures were and your voice modulation, the way you brought up and down, simply amazing. I think you should cultivate more of this in your further speeches. That's one thing I can tell you. And you are told about how you are in a different zone, in your own life, not realizing how much other people were helpful to you and making difference in your life. And that realization came from your mother when she one day chided you for not responding to your friend's call or something to that effect. Came wonderfully well. And your conclusion was about about that quotation I gave you about how you are open to love, universe has to return it back to you. Amazingly done. Now, how you could have done it differently? What I would have felt, two places I would have felt. One is your transformation from your mother telling you could have been a bit more dramatic, I thought. Because your friend, the belief from what your friend really did to you, that made you that kind of, you not realizing how grateful you are supposed to be that to her. That realization could have come in a more dramatic fashion, I felt. And another improvement, what probably I thought was, you could have ended that speech with if you are open to love, universe as a way of giving it back to you. Or for living better, love better, Mr. Toastmaster. That could have probably given more, power to the speech. That's what I felt. A more powerful ending. You started explaining beyond that. It probably complicated it a bit. There's only suggestion I can give, but otherwise an amazing speech, met all the requirements of project 2 as far as the making a speech, purposeful speech is concerned. Good work done, but only one take a point to our members. Please do not be overwhelmed by a level 1. If the level 2 speech has to be this big, this fine, you don't have to worry. She is actually what I talked to her during the interval. She is not her second speech. She has already reached some third or fourth stage. Probably she is doing it for international speech contest. So I can take it as a model speech for all of us, how a level 1 project 2 can be built up. But amazing speech, madam. I really thoroughly loved it. Wonderful. Congratulations. Back to you.
Thank you, DDM Bhat, for your evaluation. I'll now give a few seconds for all of you to respond to the poll for the best speaker, the best evaluator, and the best table topic speaker. Thank you so much. With that, my job as the general evaluator is not to evaluate the speaker, but to evaluate the evaluators. So Toastmasters Sindhushree, what I liked about an evaluation is you sort of had an all-round perspective of the speech, gave the speaker good improvement points, good areas of strength. In what you could have done better, you could have announced that structure up front, like we typically do in Toastmasters, so the speaker is aware of how his or her feedback is going to come and they can make notes accordingly. But other than that, I think you covered it very well. DTM and U Bhat, you stole my thunder when you spoke about general purpose and specific purpose, because I was coming to that point. I don't know how it's done now, but in the previous manuals, we had a speech that said, craft a general purpose and specific purpose for each of your speeches, and he was bang on to that. Right? He spoke about that. He said there are three general purposes we have: is to inform, is to entertain, or is to inspire. Right? So he touched upon that, and then you gave the speaker good feedback. And what I liked is you went offline to talk to the speaker and understand what their level is, and is this really their first speech or second speech. So a job very well done. Can we have a good round of applause for both the speakers and the evaluators? With that, we move on to the table topic session. I think that's the session that everyone enjoyed, and it went on and on and on with many last speeches, but very well done. Toastmaster Latha, what I really loved about the session is the spectrum of topics, right? And the clarity with which they were announced. You took your time to be slow and clear when you were announcing. That's something that we sometimes miss because we want to tell out the topic or we want to follow the speaker. We sometimes tend to miss that. So that was really well done. You repeated it twice, or you were slow and split it for people to understand. That was very, very well done. And I think going by an average response, even that I can look, we have at least more than a minute or 10 seconds about that people have spoken, which is a good note to the table topic master with the topics put the speakers at ease, and they gave them some good opportunity to speak. That was very well done. A couple of improvement points that if I may suggest to you. One, something that I personally saw, right? The first thing, for a couple of speakers, you had personal comments about how you would have spoken about it, or how well they spoke. Please leave my job to me. Right? The G should be ideally doing that, or telling the audience how they should be reacting or doing something. As a table topic master, we would say go from one speaker to the next speaker directly, because what you say might influence the way people think, and it comes down to their voting. Right? So we don't generally advise that. The second rule that I learned when I came into Toastmasters and learned from my mentors, especially my mentor, right, is never leave the lectern empty. Right? That's the thing that we've learned. It's just not to Toastmaster Latha, but to anyone out here. You never leave the lectern empty. So when you're an MC, or when you're a table topic master, or anyone, you wait at the lectern till the next speaker comes in, you do a good, nice, firm handshake, and then you walk out. Right? So that's how we respect the lectern. So that's something maybe that we can learn to all. The last thing that I want to talk about is, one thing that I really loved, I think I missed that point, is the misdirection you had when you were speaking your topics. I'll give you an example. When you had a topic for Sai Snehal, the most adventurous thing that you've done, you were continuously looking at this side. So people here got ready. And you said, for this topic, I would like to call upon Sai Snehal. You did that 3-4 times. So I really liked that misdirection. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I really liked it. But something that you can add to that is add segues to your speeches when you go from one speech to another speaker. For example, Chetan said he wakes up at 5:30 a.m. for a swimming. And your next topic was about morning person or night person. If I were you, I would have said, Chetan in his speech said he wakes up at 5:30. That brings me to my next question. What are you? A morning person or a night person? So my next topic, what are you? Right? So that is something how we try to improvise. But all in all, your session, beautifully done. All of them are at ease. A great round of applause for the table topic master. Before I go to the MC's evaluation, can I please have the role takers report? We will begin with, the timers report, Toastmaster Sakshi.
I was so much ebullient to see the work from each of your eyes that it made my job tougher. Though I was pretty much successful in completing my task, that is giving my timers report. So the first prepared speaking session, speaker Bhavana took 6 minutes 48 seconds. Speaker Prakruthi took 7 minutes 47 seconds. Evaluator Sindhushree took 3 minutes 17 seconds. Evaluator DTM U Bhat took 3 minutes 52 seconds. Presidential address took 5 minutes 30 seconds while the time allotted was 5 minutes. And the total table topic session took 31 minutes while the time allotted is 20 minutes. While there were 14 speakers today in the table topic session, break time was 10 minutes but 12 minutes were taken in the break time. Table topic speakers time is being displayed on the board, and till now the general evaluation session took 17 minutes 50 seconds. Thank you, and over to the general.
Next, we move on to the counter, Toastmaster Rajna.
Thank you, Toastmaster Supreet. Continuing today's metaphor of seeing the world through different lenses, I feel as a role taker, and I think all the other role takers will agree that as an counter or a grammarian, we see the world through a very narrow, we see the meeting through a very narrow lens of just ahs and ums and pauses or incorrect usages and brilliant usages. Anyway, coming to the actual report. So the Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Madhusudan was flawless. Toastmaster President Toastmaster Pavani flawless. The Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Udanka, 2 hours. Speaker 1, Toastmaster Bhavana, 2 hours, 1 crutch word of anyway. Evaluator, Toastmaster Sindhushree, 2 hours, 1 crutch phrase of I must say. Toastmaster Prakruthi, 2 pauses. Evaluator DTM U Bhat, 2 pauses, crutch word probably. And then coming to table topic master, Toastmaster Latha, flawless. And general evaluator, Toastmaster Supreet, 3 hours so far. Back to you, Toastmaster.
With that, we move on to the Grammarian, Toastmaster Jyothi.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, Toastmasters, guest. Well, I must say I was too involved into listening to the speakers that I could not make note of not so good usages. So we can say that it went on well. The good usages were universe plotting against me, act for a mountain goat, table and dirt, nature's beauty at its peak, pure untouched beauty, contemplating death, inevitable hurdle, joy in little things, disheartened and dejected, drowned and sad, be there, fetish, elegance and beauty, trail to cycle, ascending up the hill, diametrically opposite, reading is liberating, books are beautiful dimensions, meaning of life, living in interesting times, many facets of life, torch bearers, build the crescendo, lead by example, conversational style of speaking, like a back of your hand, lush green, woods, even if it was wood or word, both are good for me, spectrums of topics. And with this, I think, not me, but the granny improved her grammar.
I'm
Come. I'm sorry, I had forgotten earlier also, but now, thanks to whoever reminded me, the word of the day, ebullient, which means overflowing with enthusiasm or excitement. The crowd was ebullient, cheering loudly for the team. And this was used by once by Sakshi, Toastmaster Sakshi, once by Toastmaster Supreet, once by Toastmaster Sindhu, DTM MU Bhat, and by myself. Thank you.
He didn't use.
I think you got somebody else said it. I'm not.
He is feeling guilty about it.
Oh yeah, sorry, he didn't use. No. I'm sorry.
This is our account actually.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jyothi. Now to the Parliamentary Procedures Evaluator, Toastmaster Shivaprasad.
Thank you, General Evaluator. The meeting went pretty well today. Hardly any reference to topics related to sex, politics, or religion. A couple of times God was brought up, but God had no religion there, so I'll leave that part. The entry and exit were well aligned during the applause. The phones were on silent mode. There was a small ring, but that was cut quickly, so no problem. And the only problem today was the door was opening by itself, so some foreshadowing happening there. Other than that, the meeting went very well. Over to the team.
Can you now take a few seconds to vote for the best vote taker? Thank you. Finally, moving on to the MC of the evening, DTM Udanka. DTM Udanka, I think the MC's role is a little different, right? Because it's how you have to be the hero without being the hero, right? How you put spotlight on others without taking any spotlight from them, and how you did it, you did a great job today, right? From the theme selection, that is something that's close to your heart, something that you're passionate about. So the right theme selection for you to talk about through the meeting. Scripting your session notes using technology. I saw you were on ChatGPT when I walked in. So that's the right use of the resources that you have. So that job was really well done. And you tried to stitch the meeting through with correlations to the topic. It's something that's close to your heart. So that's very well done. The scripting part and all that. And now, how was the execution? Because that's where the rubber meets the road, right? So that part, if I had to sum it up, I would say it was like silk was smooth as ivory. But ivory has a few cracks, right? So let's tweak those cracks. Something that you could have done better is something that I've observed, and I'm going to be a little critical because you're a very senior Toastmaster now. You have a challenge of finishing sentences because you're in a hurry to get to the next sentence or the next word. So maybe some conscious attention on how you can slow down yourself so you can complete your sentences can make your sentences more emphatic for the crowd, right? That's just one of the things. The intros, I think I like how they were short and crisp. But sometimes you got to make the speaker feel even more better when they're coming up to the lectern, right? Maybe Toastmaster Bhavana is coming up for the first time. She wants to feel really good when she's coming. So try to make them feel really good. So add a few more things that the crowd doesn't know. Maybe something to the theme or something to the speech that she's giving. Try to link it up there. And talking more into the intro, something that we've learned fundamentally in here is the ITS format that we follow, right? The introduction to the speaker, the title of the speech, and the speaker's name, right? I think you switched between speaker's name and title. The title came later. What happens is, we are Toastmasters. The moment we hear a name, we start applauding, right? And your title somewhere gets lost between that. Frankly, I miss Toastmaster Bhavana's title. So that is something maybe we can stick to those frameworks which will really help us go along with. They might be fundamentals, but it builds a lot on us. Having said that, even with all these cracks, ivory sells for a lot of things, right? So that is what this session was for me. Coming back after a long time, coming up coming back after almost a year. 2 beautiful speeches, very good table topics, but what stitched it through for me through and through was your emceeing section. So great round of applause to Toastmasters, Udanka. I hope I've not become a little rusted with not coming to Meccan. I've covered everything in my tea session, but always love to be rustic and not rust. On that note, back to the MC.
That was indeed a neat.
That's why I told you I would love to become rust. See, this is what happens when you come back after a long time. Apparently, I missed how the TAPG performed. Yes. So, Toastmasters Sakshi, I liked how you were diligent in your work. I saw the cards going up on time. I liked your introduction. You tried to stitch it to the theme, which was really nice. And of all the people, you had to ring the bell for K Prabhakara. But still, a job very well done. I'll ask you to hold the applause, but a job very well done, Toastmasters Sakshi. Moving on to the R counter, I like the way you introduced the R counter responsibility as well. Simple, but yet elegant, right? That's what was really nice. A job diligently done throughout the meeting, so great round, great job on that. Toastmaster Jyothi, I know you've been with Mecon for quite some time. Very good notes of good usages, but I would say personally, more than the good usages, the not so good usages is very important to us. Right? It helps people learn, which is what we are really here for. So I would suggest we try to pull out that there will be, it's not that any of us are perfect, no matter how long we spend behind the lectern. So it's good to catch those things, minor misses here and there, but you guys job really well. So for which the meeting went really smooth. PP, I really wouldn't want to say much. Good round of applause to everyone.
Much needed evaluation, what we would say, so be more regular to our clubs. But that, as I told earlier, a couple of months back I lost my photography account because of some hackers, and when I thought I'll bring back that account, I started scrolling my Google account where I have all my photos. It was like thousands of folders with lakhs of photos. And while I sorted out the photos, I saw the initial photos and the current photos. There are a huge difference. And just similarly, we have few members today who have just started their Toastmasters journey. And to induct them officially, I would request distinguished Toastmaster K Prabhakara to induct them officially to our club.
I request Mr. Das, please come over here. Mr. Vaibhav, Mr. Kushal, then Toastmaster Samarth. It's an induction that we carry out. It's a tradition to introduce you all to
We have Toastmaster Prajvini.
Oh, Prajvini, please. I thought it was all the way in the way. I was wondering where is the other one. I think you can be here also, no problem. You can distribute here. It's a tradition we carry out to introduce our new members to the club. And inducting ceremony, it's a kind of thing we have been carrying it out for years. So we'll go through that process. Membership in Toastmasters is a privilege, and the only way to gain the benefits of our program is to actively participate. Do you, Prajvini, Das, Vaibhav, Kushal, and Samarth, promise to be active members of this club, to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for your duties?
Yes.
Little louder, please.
Yes.
So that others get confidence. Do you promise to fulfill other points of Toastmaster promise?
Yes.
Today it has been sent to you in your WhatsApp. You must have read it, right?
Yes.
I request now the members to please rise from their seats. Do you, members of Mekon Communications, promise to support Toastmaster Das, Toastmaster Vaibhav, Toastmaster Kushal, Toastmaster Prajvini, and Toastmaster Samarth as they work through Toastmasters program?
Yes.
Please be seated. It is my pleasure now to declare all of you as installed as members of Mekon Communication Club. Thank you. Be seated.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster K Prabhakara, and welcome to the Mekon family. This was a picture perfect meeting, and this was my time as the Toastmaster of the day. With that, handing over the charge back to the President, Toastmaster Pavani.
Thank you, DTM Udanka. Once again, a very good evening everyone. Now I would like to make few announcements that I missed out during the business session. Firstly, a huge congratulations for our Toastmaster Balaji for securing first place in the international speech contest in the area contest. And also a huge congratulations for Toastmaster Raja for securing second place in the area contest. The second announcement is about the role takers update for the next week. So for the next week, 3 speech slots has been booked, one by Toastmaster Shiva, one by Toastmaster Jia, and one by Toastmaster Madhusudan. And MC slot has been booked by Toastmaster Latha. All the other roles are open. I request everyone to contact RVP for the same. And coming to today's meeting, it was a fantastic session. A thought-provoking table topic session, a constructive and a valuable feedback from our General Evaluator Toastmaster Supreet, and our MC. We could see how passionate he was about photography. And one tip for all the MCs or whoever takes the role of MC in the future would be, you can keep the theme that you are passionate about and talk about that. So with that, now I would want to declare the winners for today. Coming to the best role taker TAPG, it goes to our Grammarian Toastmaster Jyothi. Next, the best table topic speaker for today, it is Toastmaster Balaji. Coming to the best role taker MTG, it goes to the person who gave constructive feedback, our General Evaluator Toastmaster Supreet. Coming to the best evaluator for today, it goes to our VP Toastmaster Sindhushree. Lastly, coming to the best speaker for today, she is someone who took us all to the Annapurna range. It goes to Toastmaster Bhavana. Thank you everyone, and with that, I request everyone to continue networking downstairs once the meeting is done. And with that, I close meeting number 1309, and I request everyone to stand up for the national anthem.